Yes, students. So I think 3 problems are left out, right? We'll complete that also. Then we'll move on to the next chapter. 14 we completed, huh? Yeah. So is there any other doubt from yesterday's class? Anything you couldn't understand? Everything is clear? Okay. So we'll proceed to the next one. The 15th one is the value of sine of tan inverse x is equal to how much? So if you observe, all the options that are given are values, no? So when can I get value from an inverse trigonometric function? If I have a combination of trigonometric and inverse trigonometric, if I need only a value, then what am I supposed to do?
Sine inverse of sine x or sine of sine inverse.
Perfect, perfect. So sine of, I will find out what is the value of tan inverse of x in terms of sine inverse. Theta, if this is x and this is 1, this will be root of 1 plus x square. So is it not sine inverse of x divided by root of 1 plus x square? Right. So this will be x by root of 1 plus x square. Accepted? Answer is 2.
Sir,
Accepted?
1.
Did I make
Where
any
did
mistake?
it comes?
Edra?
1, sir.
See, tan inverse x leda. If I take tan inverse x as theta, tan theta is equal to x. X is nothing but x by 1. No.
Oh, okay.
Shall I move on? Next one.
Yes, sir.
This is a good problem actually. Mark it as important. It is slightly tricky also. So sine inverse of 1 minus x minus 2 sine inverse half, sine inverse of x is equal to pi by 2. If that is a scenario, then find the value of x. Okay, I'll give you 10 seconds time. Think and tell me what are we supposed to substitute.
Sir, we have to take 1 sine inverse.
You will take 1 sine inverse.
Outside. Oh, sorry, sir. We can't do it like. Sir, cos inverse x.
See, we already have sine inverse now. You already have sine inverse now. You should substitute x as a trigonometric function, not inverse trigonometric. That's the logic. You already have sine inverse on both sides. See, the idea I can think from here, either I have sine inverse of 1 minus x. Then what can I do? I want the sine inverse to get eliminated. Then what should I substitute x as? I already gave you the hint. I don't want sine inverse to exist. Then I should. X is equal to sine theta. That's it. That's it. X is equal to sine theta. There is nothing to think in that. Okay. If I put x is equal to sine theta, sine inverse of 1 minus sine theta minus 2 theta. Can I write it like this? Sir? Because if I put x is equal to sine theta, theta is equal to sine inverse of x minus 2 theta is equal to pi by 2. So sine inverse of 1 minus sine theta is equal to pi by 2 plus 2 theta. Correct? So 1 minus sine 2 theta is equal to, if I take sine to the other side, it becomes sine of pi by 2 plus 2 theta. What is sine of pi by 2 plus 2 theta?
Sine 2 theta.
Right. Sine of pi plus 2 theta. See, I think you guys forgot all these things. You have a trigonometric function, okay? You have multiples, the integral multiple of pi plus or minus theta, then what will happen is the trigonometric function will be as it is. Sine of theta, it can either be plus or minus depending on what is the value of n. Okay, whereas if you have sine of n times pi by 2, where n is an odd number. Okay, plus or minus theta, or I will put something like this, pi by 2 plus or minus theta, or it can be 3 pi by 2. That's it. I need to use n. Where n is odd, then you will always get the complementary of that function. Up and over. It will be cos of theta. We don't know whether it is plus or minus cos theta. So similarly, think and tell me sine of pi by 2 plus 2 theta is how much? It is
Cos 2
Cos
theta.
2 theta.
cos 2 theta. Now you need to answer one question. When I say sine of pi by 2 plus 2 theta, which quadrant does it belong to? Think the sine of pi by 2 plus 2 theta. Pi by 2 never. What is there to think
Sir,
so
it's
much?
not the
19.
first
It's
quadrant.
been second quadrant. So second
The
quadrant.
second
Yes.
quadrant sine is positive or negative?
It's positive.
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 Keep this side as positive. One common mistake that will happen is people will write cos 2 theta and put a minus sign. Yeah. Why do you think they're putting a minus sign there? Because they will see pi by 2 plus 2 theta, second quadrant, they will immediately start thinking cos is negative, so they will put a minus sign. No. What are you supposed to see?
Let's say the sine value, the one before changing.
Pi by 2 plus 2 theta is there. You think about the sign of sine theta. Vedha, don't make that mistake. If you do that, your whole answer will change. Very minor point, but be careful, okay? I hope I'm clear. So 1 minus sine 2 theta is equal to cos 2 theta. Now it's our job. What can I do? Can I write 1 minus cos 2 theta is equal to sine 2 theta? It's more better, right? So 1 minus cos 2 theta is 2 sine square theta is equal to sine 2 theta is what? 2 sine theta cos theta. Guys, I'm going to concentrate only on common mistakes. Listen to this carefully, okay? What will you people do? You will cancel this sine theta and this sine theta, right? Will you do it or not?
Yes, sir.
But that is wrong. Don't do that. Why is it wrong? If I say wrong, I have to give the reason also. Why is it wrong? You can cancel sine on both the sides only if theta is not equal to 0, because sine 0 is 0. Pureda? So don't do that mistake. Rather, these kind of problems, how you are supposed to solve this, you always have to go with the method of factorization. That is, you can cancel 2 and 2, no harm in that. But when sine theta and theta are there, you have to look at the domain and the codomain. Nowhere they told theta is not equal to 0. Nowhere they told x is not equal to 0. And look at the options. X is equal to 0 is also one of the options. Okay. So sine theta into, can I write it as cos theta minus sine theta is equal to 0. Anybody with a doubt?
No doubt, sir.
Sine theta, I hope you understood. I took the sine square theta to the other side and I took sine theta outside. Sine theta into cos theta minus sine theta. So sine theta can be 0 or cos theta can be equal to sine theta. Correct? When sine theta is 0, what is sine theta? Sine theta is nothing but x.
Theta is x.
X is equal to 0 or root of 1 minus x square is equal to x square. Is equal to x, sorry. So square on both the sides, you will get 2x square is equal to 1, x square is equal to half, or x is equal to plus or minus 1 by root. Any doubt? Wait, let me check one point. Sine inverse of 1 minus sin theta is equal to pi by 2 plus 2 theta. 1 minus sin theta is equal to this thing, cos 2 theta. 1 minus cos 2 theta is equal to 2 sin square theta. Yeah. But there is no half, no?
There's no 1 by root 2, sir. It's only 1 by 2.
No, but one of the options will only be right. Did I make any mistake? See, cos theta is equal to sin theta obviously is possible only when theta is equal to 45 degrees. I need not sit and solve all these things because I can write tan theta is equal to 1 and theta is equal to 45. But x is equal to sine 45, no? That is 1 by root 2. I can write it like this also. But there is no 1 by root 2, no? Check if I made any calculation mistakes. So sine inverse of 1 minus sine theta, that goes right, minus 2 into
So won't it be 1 minus sine theta?
Yes, sir.
Then
Sine
no.
inverse of 1 minus sine theta will be 1 minus sine theta.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. So 1 minus sine theta, then things will change, no? Then I can't get this. Anyways, you learnt a concept, no? Sorry. So 1 minus sine theta is equal to cos 2 theta, right? So now things are simple. 1 minus cos 2 theta is equal to sine theta,
Yes, sir.
right? Still it is 2 sine square theta is equal to sine theta. Again, don't cancel the sine theta. What are we supposed to do? Sine theta into 1 minus 2 sine theta is equal to 0. So sine theta is equal to 0 or sine theta is equal to half. But what is sine theta? X is equal to 0 or x is equal to half. Correct? But what did I say with, we did a problem yesterday, no? If you get two values of x, what are we supposed to do? Substitute and check. Mithun, are you there? Yeah. Remember yesterday you asked me this question. So if you substitute x is equal to 0, then what are you going to get? Sine inverse of 1 minus 0 minus 2 sine inverse of 0 on the left hand side. What is it, guys? Sine inverse of 1 minus 0. Sine inverse of 1 is pi by 2. So 0 is satisfying. Correct? If you substitute, let's just give me 2 minutes time. The charge in my pencil is over. You guys substitute half and see, no? What are you going to get? Is x is equal to half satisfying?
1 minute.
You will get 5 by 6 minus 5 by 3.
Yes, sir. Yes, I got it, sir.
Yes,
Minus,
sir.
you will get minus 5 by 6. So x is equal to half will not satisfy. So what is the only option?
0, sir.
There is the only option. Okay? So be careful. One last problem. With that we are done with this chapter. The screen sharing is gone, huh?
No, sir. We are able to see.
Okay. So tan inverse of x by y minus tan inverse of x minus y by x plus y is equal to. So how much is it? Tan inverse of x by y minus of x minus y by x plus y, the whole divided by 1 plus x by y into x minus y by x plus y. So can you guys solve this? Tan inverse of, how much are you going to get? X square plus xy minus xy plus y square, the whole divided by xy plus y square plus x square minus xy. So xy gone, here also xy gone. So we'll get tan inverse of x square plus y square divided by x square plus y square. That is tan inverse of 1, which is pi by 4. Right? So pi by 4 is the required answer. We are done, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So that's all with this chapter. So as I told you, we'll be starting continuity and differentiability today. That is the first part of your calculus. Okay, by the way, I hope you guys remember that there is a test tomorrow.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Notes, right. So there's a topic for today. Okay, so continuity and differentiability is nothing but an extension of what you have learned last year in the name of limits and derivatives.
Derivative.
So for you to understand the basics of what is continuity and differentiability, we need a little bit understanding about the limits and derivatives. Okay. So can someone tell me why did we learn limits, the concept of limits? Or where are we actually learning the concept of limits?
Where we apply it, sir.
Where we?
Like you're asking where we apply it.
Yeah, for what kind of a concept you find limit? For limit of what? This is a question. So I'm saying limits and derivatives of what?
Sir, when the equations have many values,
In the
to
equations
some
are
value.
1 minute, 1 minute. One minute, 1 minute. I have something important to handle. I'll just be back in 2 minutes, please. Okay, sorry guys. Yeah. So did you guys think about what the question? We are saying limits and derivatives, no? Of what? Of dash. Of.
Functions.
Very good. We speak about the limits and derivatives of a function. Why do we need it? That's what we need to understand. So by finding the limit of a function, last year you would have learned this thing, right? So last year you would have learned if there is a function like this. Okay. Then if you take a particular point, so where do you find the limit? You find the limit at a particular point. Let's say that point is C. So with respect to that point, you will have how many limits? You will have something called as left limit,
And the right limit.
you will have something called as right limit, and you have something called as a function value. So what do you mean by function value? So if this coordinate is c comma 0, and if the function is y is equal to f of x, then what will be the coordinate of this point? It will be
C.
c comma f of c. Accepted? That is x
Yes.
coordinate is c, y coordinate is in the place of x you will substitute c, it will become f of c. Then I can think of a point which is on the left of c, which I will call it as c minus h comma 0. Okay. Similarly, I can think of another point on the right hand side, which I will call it as c plus h comma 0. Correct? Then what if I call this point as A, if I call this point as B, and if I call the intermediate point as B, what are the coordinates of point A down? Anybody? What are the coordinates of point A? Is it not
C minus
C minus H comma
Minus h comma f of
F comma 0.
F of C minus H? As simple as that. Similarly, if I take a point B, it is going to be C plus H comma F of
c plus h.
C plus H. And coordinates of point P is how much? C comma F
F
of
of
C.
c.
Right? So now I want this to be answered. You're saying something called as left limit, something right limit, and a function value. Out of the three coordinates, tell me where does the function value exist? What do I mean by function value?
Point P, sir.
Point P. In point P, is it the abscissa or the ordinate? Is it the x coordinate or y coordinate going to speak about the function value?
Y coordinate.
Y coordinate, because I'm saying f of c. So this is called as the function value. Then what do I mean by left limit? What do I mean by left limit, Ra?
Left of the function value.
Correct only, be confident. So from the left of the function, you will be approaching towards which point? You will be approaching towards, that is from the point C minus H, if you are approaching towards the point C. Okay, then can I write something like this? Limit extends to C with a minus on the top. I will call this as f of x. Now what is this,
Why?
guys? This is called
Why is
as,
that C with a minus on the top?
means I am coming to the C from the left hand side. So this is what is called as left limit of function at point C. Okay. This is equal to, observe the way I am going to write, limit h tends to 0 f of C minus h. Okay. If this comes out to be equal to function value f of C, I hope you guys are clear with three terms: function value, left limit, and right limit. Okay. Now we have seen what is left limit and what is function value. So I'm repeating it again. Listen. For a function f of x, I am finding the limit on C minus. What do I mean by C minus? So if this is point C, then C minus will be this side. From C minus h, where am I trying to approach? I'm trying to approach towards C. So when will C minus h approximately be equal to C? See, if I want C minus h to be approximately equal to C, if I cancel
This
this,
should be 0.
h should be approximately 0. H should tend to 0, it will not be 0. Remember one thing, guys, calculus is all about approximation only. Nobody says this. So calculations are approximate value to the nearest possibility. Okay, they will be close to accurate value, but they are approximate value. So that is the reason I didn't write h is equal to 0. I told h is tending to 0. By h tending to 0, I take f of c minus h, that is the left value of the function, and if I solve, if I get that equal to the function value, then technically in your last year's syllabus you would have called that the left limit exists. You would have told this, no? Left limit exists. But this year the same concept will be learned as the function is continuous. The function is continuous from left hand side. Guys, are you able to understand? Does that make sense? How to apply that I will teach. Okay, don't worry about how to apply and all those things. Tell me one thing, are you clear with the understanding of why you're learning it? Concept. Tell me.
Can you repeat it one time?
Which point should I repeat? Which point?
No, how do you get like f of x here? Like limit x tends to c minus. How do you get their f of x?
You don't get f of x. F of x means you will just substitute the function that is given there.
Okay, sir.
You just substitute. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Did you understand this term? Did you understand the statement that I gave you?
Yes, sir. I understood this, but like I was confused in that one, so I got cleared now.
I will give you an example. Don't worry about it. I'll give you an example for continuous and discontinuous function.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Wait for 5 minutes, you will understand. Okay,
Okay,
similar. If I talk about right limit, then how should I write it? You guys tell me, no? You guys do a small replacement and tell me, no? Limit extends to, what should I write in the place of c? This is actually right limit at c. Correct. C, don't put a plus beside it, put a plus on the top like a power. C plus, what should I write?
f of x
Is equal to limit h tends to 0
where
f
f
of
c
F of
plus
C
h.
plus
c plus h means I will take the function value on the right of t. Okay. If this also comes out to be equal to f of c, then what can I say? Then I can say right limit exists, or what can I say? The function
continuous from the right side.
very good, continuous from the right side, right hand side. Okay. So overall, if limit exists or function is continuous, what can I say, guys? If I need to prove that the limit exists or a function is continuous at a given point, then what is my job to prove? I should prove that the left limit is equal to the right limit
Limit is equal to function value.
function value. If all these three conditions are satisfied, then you can say that the given function is what? The name of the chapter. That is, you are speaking about the continuity of the function. Purida?
Yes, sir.
So sometimes you will have this kind of a scenario. It is not necessary that always left limit is equal to right limit is equal to function value. Sometimes you can have a scenario like this. Left limit is equal to function value, but not equal to right limit. So this can either be called as left continuous or right discontinuous. Similarly, right limit might be equal to function value, need not be equal to left limit. Then what can you say? It can be
Right continuous or
Right
left
continuous.
discontinuous.
and left, and from left it is discontinuous. Okay, I will explain it and I will show, if possible, I'll try to show them graphically also. Okay, So if you're clear with these points, let me take an example and explain it. Okay. First, check whether f of x is equal to sin x is continuous at x is equal to pi by 2. Okay. Okay. So f of x is equal to sin x is a function. Always, I've already told you the basics, right? Whenever you look at a function, you should not blindly start solving the problem. First is your mind should start working on understanding the function. You should always concentrate on it, though they will not say. So f of x is equal to sin x is possible for x belongs to R. The domain of sin x is R. So in that R, pi by 2 is one of the values. So what they are indirectly asking is, you need to verify whether sin x is continuous or not at pi by 2. Or sometimes what they can ask, check the limit of the function f of x is equal to sin x at x is equal to pi by 2. Indirectly they are asking about continuity only. Okay. So for that, you should start it like this. What is left limit?
Limit. So I have a doubt over here, sir.
Tell me, ma'am.
So if this question, if the question is like this, we have to prove that left limit is equal to right. I mean, is equal to right limit, which is equal to function value. We have to prove that.
You have to prove it. See, that is the best way to prove, but in your textbook, they would have given you slightly different thing. That also I'll explain. But let me
Okay, sir.
explain the inner meaning of it, then I will come to that point.
Sir, should we take minus pi by 2, sir?
Not minus pi by 2. Minus pi by 2 is different from pi by 2 minus. Don't do that mistake.
Where to
Okay.
take limit f of x with x tending to pi by 2 minus.
Limit extends to pi by 2 minus on the top. F of x. What is f of x here? Limit extends to pi by 2 minus. I need to take sin x. So here the variable is x extends to pi by 2. Right? But what is the next step I need to do? I need to change the value of x to h. Limit h tends to, that is, if sin x is a graph existing like this, okay, I will draw the original graphics. So you guys know how the value, how the graph of sin x looks like. So x is equal to pi by 2 is in which quadrant?
First quadrant.
First
So this is equal to pi and this is 2 pi. This is the value at x is equal to pi by 2. So this is pi by 2 means pi by 2 minus h will be somewhere over here. Right? Limit h tends to 0. Sin of, in the place of x, what should I replace with?
pi by
I should
2 minus.
Very good. I should replace with pi by 2 minus h. This is a critical step. Is everyone clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sin of pi by 2 minus h. One common mistake that happens is people will be in a hurry to substitute this 0 here and they will say sin pi by 2 minus h is same as sin pi by 2. Don't do that. You should always substitute the limit for a simplified function. Okay. Sin of pi by 2 minus h is what? Just now we discussed in inverse
Sin
trigonometry.
pi by 2 minus.
Sin of pi by 2 minus h is what?
Minus sin.
Why minus? The sin pi by 2 minus h is in first quadrant. Sin pi by 2 minus h is nothing but cos h.
Sin.
Cos h, So take 0 and substitute it here. You will get it as cos 0. Answer is 1. Clear? Is there any doubt?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Sin
Yes,
90 is
sir.
also
No
equal to 1.
doubts, sir.
Sin 90 minus theta, 10th standard complementary functions. Right limit. Limit.
Sir, we transform sin 90 minus h to 1, no, sir. So we can say that sin 90 minus h is sin 90.
Don't do that mistake. Don't do that. I'll tell
You
you.
got the final value as 1, no?
You will understand how costly a mistake that is when I take a discontinuous function. I'll show you why you are not supposed to do. Seriya? For 5 minutes wait when you will understand.
Okay.
Okay. Pi by 2 plus f of x. So this is limit extends to pi by 2 plus in the place of f of x I will write sin x. Then limit of, what should I write? H
of
tends
h tends to 0, sine
sin.
pi by 2
Sine
plus h.
pi by 2 plus h.
Very good. Limit h tends to 0. Sin of pi by 2 plus h. This also we sort of don't say you didn't understand. I gave you an example also. Sin of n times pi by 2 plus or minus theta, where n is odd number.
Cos h, sir.
Yes, it is. Is it plus cos h or minus cos h?
Plus
Cos
cos
h,
h.
sir.
Plus cos h, because pi by 2 plus h is second quadrant. Sin in second quadrant is still positive. H tends to 0. Substitute it here. You will get it as cos 0. Answer is 1. Okay. What is f of pi by 2? That is sin pi by 2. Answer 1.
1.
What can you say in this question? Left limit is equal to right limit is equal to function value. Hence, it is continuous at x is equal to pi by 2. You are able to understand?
Yes, sir.
Right. So if anybody has to copy it, please make a note of this one.
Sir, I have a doubt, small doubt, sir. Is there a chance we can get a question which left limit is equal to right limit but not equal to function value?
Yeah, there is a possibility.
Then how do we express it, sir? Like if left limit is not equal to right limit, we say left limit is continuous and right limit is discontinuous. But in this case, how do we express
You
it?
will not speak about the function value at all. Means the function value at that point will not exist. That is the meaning. I'll show you graphically now. I understood what you asked. Let me explain a discontinuous function. Then I will explain how the graph for your question looks like.
Okay, sir.
See, let me explain. So I hope everybody has copied it, right? So let me explain the graphical
sir.
meaning. So I'm checking the continuity of the function at x is equal to pi by 2. Now I will zoom and see. When I approach to this point from the left hand side, I am reaching a function value of how much? 1. When I approach this pi by 2 from the right hand side, I am reaching the same function value 1. What is the function value at pi by 2? That is also 1. Since all these three values are coinciding, this graph and this graph will meet each other. They will meet each other. You're able to understand? That is the meaning of a function being continuous at that point. Now, the next task we need to perform is there a case where a function can be discontinuous? Let's try it out. Surya, concentrate now. You will understand why you are not supposed to
Is that
substitute.
how they find range, sir, for sine functions?
Function value is like, it's range in Solomia. Function value is exactly the value at that point. It is
No,
one
sir.
of,
Like sine x is minus 1 to 1, minus pi by 2, pi by 2.
okay.
The same only.
Can you repeat your question? I didn't get you.
Sir, sine, the range is minus 1 to 1 and minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. No, sir. It's the same only, no, sir. In this case.
Correct.
So this is how they find that.
Yeah, don't get confused. See, when you talk about the range, when you're doing, imagine finding range like an activity term. So in that activity, what you're doing is you're finding what are all the possible values of y that you will get by substituting all the values from the domain. Okay. If you are able to get all those values, you're trying to put it in a set. But here the concept is not that. You're only trying to analyze if you try to represent a function on a graph sheet. Okay, listen to this carefully. If you try to represent a function on a graph sheet, whether the graph is going to be a continuous curve or it will have breaks. That is what we are concentrating upon. Here, you are concentrating only upon one point, whereas range is multiple points and multiple outputs. So, don't get confused.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's take this function. Okay. Now I need to show you an example of a discontinuous as well. Let's think about it. So verify if f of x is equal to tan x is continuous at x is equal to pi by 2. Okay. Left limit. You guys tell me limit extends to pi by
Sir,
2 minus
discontinuous. Sir.
pi by 2 minus. I'm directly writing tan x. I'm not writing pi by that f of x and all. Next step. Limit extends to 0. Tan of
x minus pi
pi by 2
by 2
minus
minus h.
Okay. So limit h tends to 0. Tan of pi by 2 minus h is, what is the complementary of tan?
Cot h.
Cot h. Cot h. Now substitute 0. What is cot 0? It's infinity. Right? Right limit is what? Limit extends to pi by 2 plus tan x. So limit h tends to 0. Tan of pi by 2 plus h. Right? What is tan of pi by 2 plus h?
Minus cot
Minus
h.
cot h.
It is minus cot h. Right? So the answer will come out as minus infinity. Surya, now you listen. If I didn't write this cot h, had I substituted the value here, then what I would have got? Tan pi by 2. Here, I would have got infinity. Okay, you are safe. Here also, had I substituted h tends to 0, I would have got tan pi by 2, which is again infinity. But what is the actual answer?
Minus. Understood. Sir.
Puriyudha enta?
Okay.
It's a very big mistake. Many people do it. Don't do that. Okay. Now comes the next question. What is the function value? F of pi by 2. That is tan pi by 2 is also infinity. Now you guys tell me. It is what kind of a function? Is it a continuous function?
Left continuous, but not right continuous.
Continuous.
Right discontinuous.
Right discontinuous. Now you go and revisit the graph and see. You will understand the graph better. How is the graph of sin x? Tan x. It will be something in this shape. What is this point, guys?
Function value.
Graphically, what is this point? What value of x is that? Pi by 2. This is what
Pi
is
by
pi.
2.
This is what is pi by 2. So when you are approaching pi by 2 from left of infinity, left of pi by 2, you are able to reach infinity. That is why it is left continuous. But when you approach from right hand side, where are you approaching? You are actually going to minus infinity. That is why you got the answer as minus infinity. Puriyudha? That is reason why it is left continuous function.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is the reason why you are studying this. Okay, and if you do a back trace of how this is applicable in functions, you can say that pi by 2 is not a value in the domain because it is generating infinity. What does domain state? All input values for which you get a finite output. But tan pi by 2 is generating infinity. That is why it is not a part of the domain also. Clear?
Understood, sir.
Right, I hope you guys are able to visualize it.
Yes, sir.
That is important. So anything to be copied? Anything you guys want to copy? If not, I can move on to the next one.
Done, sir.
Continuous.
Yeah, now to answer Rohan's question, he asked me, is there a possibility? In this scenario, I got left limit to be equal to the function value, but not equal to the right limit, right? So his question was, can I have a function whose left limit is equal to the right limit, okay, whose left limit is equal to the right limit, but not equal to function value? I can have a curve like this. Okay, such that I have an open circle here and an open circle here. So the open circle represents a diagrammatic way of showing that the function is discontinuous. So for any function, if you put a circle, open circle at that point, then you say that the function is discontinuous. If it is continuous, you will not put anything. You will just join them. Okay.
So the left limit and right limit will not join in the graph.
They're not joining, but they are approaching. See, left limit and right limit are approximate. I told you already. Calculus is all about approximation. Function value is the original value. Function
Okay,
value.
sir, I understood.
Okay, so left and right limit, if they are approaching towards that value, means actually the value will not, for example, sine pi by 2 minus will not exactly be 1. It will be 0.999999, which can be approximated to 1. Just close to 1 hour. That is the meaning.
Okay, sir, I understood now.
Okay, good. So, but everybody never forget this point. Calculus is approximation. Approximation close to accurate value. That is the meaning. Okay. So, I will show you some examples. They have given a function f of x is equal to 1 for all values of x less than or equal to 0. It is equal to 2 for all values of x strictly greater than 0. Strictly greater than 0. So, see, in this case, what is going to happen is, when I approach, so what are the point they have given? What is the point at which the function is broken? You look at these, right? What is the point at which the function is broken?
Sir, the point.
What happened?
0.0, sir.
So it is broken at 0.0, right? So x less than or equal to 0 means it is on the left of 0. X strictly greater than 0 means it is 0.11111, that value, slightly greater than 0. Correct? So f of x is equal to 1, y is equal to 1 is a straight line parallel to x-axis. So this is f of x is equal to 1. Till where? Till x is less than 0. At x is equal to 0, what is going to happen? I am writing the function in a more detailed way. See, 1, 1, 2. X less than 0, x equal to 0, x greater than 0. Now it makes more sense, no? At x is equal to 0, also what is the function value? Equal to 0 means function value. It is 0. So for that, what you can do is, if it is approaching that particular point, you can draw a closed circle. So closed circle in this context means continuous.
Full color circle.
Just do the way, like the way they have drawn in the textbook.
Okay, sir.
Okay, that's closed circle. Okay. Now, if you draw an open circle, then what can we say? At the value of x greater than 0. So this is 0 means on the left of 0,
Equal
I have
to 0.
1. On the right of 0, I have the function value to be 2. So I should draw the graph as 2 with an open circle at x is equal to 0. Why? Because 2 is happening for a value strictly greater than 0. Means if any function cannot have two function values at the same point, we know this. Two different function values at the same point. Then it cannot be a function at all, no? One input cannot have two outputs, that is the meaning. So it is a discontinuous function. So this example they gave you only to show how to represent a continuous and a discontinuous function on a graph sheet. So this theory and all you can read and see. Okay, so I hope you are clear with this point, this question. Now they have given another example. See, f of x is equal to 1 and it is equal to 2, but the way they have represented the value of x is different. So here they told x is not equal to 0, here x is equal to 0. So what is the meaning of it? So observe, no? I will draw a graph. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of x is not equal to 0? Means x can take a positive value or x can take a negative value also. Whether it is positive value of x or negative value of x, what is the function value? It is 1 and it is 1. Right? So, At x is equal to 0, what is happening? At x is equal to 0, it is 2.
Sir, it can be -1 also.
It is 0, comma 2. So what is going to happen is at x is equal to 1, it is discontinuous. What happened, right? You had some doubt, huh?
Sir, it can be -1 also.
Where is -1, huh? -1 illiye. See, function value means y, y is equal to 1. Y is equal to 1 is a line parallel to x-axis. So the function is in such a way that the value of y is 1 for all values of x other than 0.
Okay.
Okay. So closed circle will come at 0, comma 2. Open circle will come at 0, comma 1. Okay. Shall I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Now see, Raghav, you asked me, no, sir, do we need to prove the left limit, right limit every time? Not necessary. This is the definition according to textbook. Okay. So suppose f is a real function. When I say real function, it is a real valued function on a subset of real numbers, and c is any point in the domain of f. Then you can say that the function is continuous at f if limit extends to c, f of x is equal to f of c. By writing limit extends to c f of x, it is covering both left limit and right limit. By we doing left limit, right limit separately, we are actually trying to break this limit into two parts. That is more accurate actually. It is a better way to solve problems. But according to your textbook and NCERT, if you are able to prove that limit extends to c f of x is equal to f of c, that is more than a sufficient condition for the function to be continuous at which point? At the point C. Clear?
Sir, then if we follow this rule for sin x, then it will become only sin x plus h only, no, sir. We won't have minus no, sir.
There is no x plus h expressed. So limit extends to pi by 2 f of x is equal to limit extends to pi by 2 sin x is equal to how much are you going to get? You substitute the limit here. Then what are you going to get?
We only have to find the real value function.
So that's what they are saying. If this one is same as f of pi by 2, no? If this condition is getting satisfied, then you can say it is continuous at that point. Provided C should be a point where, read the second part of the statement. C is a point, repeat
Minus.
C
The domain of f.
is the domain of x. If you can ask me a question, sir, if I do limit extends to pi by 2 tan x, I will get infinity. F of pi by 2, that is tan pi by 2 is also infinity. Then is this sufficient for me to prove that the function is continuous? You can ask the question, valid question. But is it right?
It's not in the domain of f.
Pi by 2 is not in the domain itself. No? Purida?
Sir, how to find the domain, sir?
Find domain, you have to understand. Huh? You have to know the values of it. For trigonometric functions, we have already discussed how to find. Your work is only to remember them. Okay. See, for most of the for any function, no, you by default write the domain as real number. Then you should start thinking: are there any values from those real numbers when you substitute it in the given function will generate infinity? For example, since you asked, I am explaining it again. Listen. Y is equal to sin x is there. X belongs to R. By default, I will write it as R. Now I will do a reverse analysis. From that real number, is there any value of real number I can substitute in the place of x, which is going to give me infinity?
No, sir.
So I will leave it as it is. Y is equal to cos x. I will by default write x belongs to R. Now I will start thinking, is there any real number which will give me infinity?
No, sir.
I will write y is equal to tan x. I will write x belongs to R by default. Now I will start thinking, is there any value of real number which will give me infinity when I substitute? Infinity or minus infinity?
Yes, sir.
What are those values? 2n plus 1 into pi by 2.
Okay, sir.
So that is very fine. For example, y is equal to, if I take cosecant x, I will write x belongs to R by default. Now think, cosecant x is 1 by sin x. So what value of x am I not supposed to substitute for which cosecant x will generate infinity?
1, sir.
1 by sin x, 1 by 0 is infinity. When will sin x become 0?
N pi, sir.
It is n pi. I already explained this, no? That is how we find the domain. Right, I hope everyone is clear with this. So that is
Yes,
why
sir.
I'm stressing on the point again and again. You guys need to master the concept of domain. If you have problems, see, if you need extra problems, though it is out of your 12th standard portions, if you want problems on domain, please let me know, I'll give you. You guys practice, there is no harm in it. Okay? Your calculus will be strong, trust me. This is a chapter which will make everyone cry in the last minute. Not this chapter, this branch. Okay? So, let's take some examples. Check the continuity of the function if the function is given as f of x is equal to 2x plus 3. You need to check the continuity at x is equal to 1. So, what is the domain of this function?
Real number.
Real number. So, x is equal to 1 is a part of the domain. So, it's a real value function. So, if you prove that limit x tends to 1, 2x plus 3 is equal to function value, then you can say that the function is continuous. But if you want to be more elaborate on this, there is no harm in finding the answer using the left limit and right limit concept also. Okay, you want me to show how to find using left limit and right limit?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is the function? F of x is equal
2x
to
plus 3.
3, x is equal to 1. Now what I will do, I will take the left limit. So what is the left limit? Limit x tends to 1 minus f of x is equal to limit x tends to 1 minus 2x plus 3. Next step, limit h tends to 0, 2 into, in the place of x, what should I replace with?
1 minus h.
Very
H.
good. 1 minus h plus 3. Now simplify this. Limit h tends to 0, 2 into 1, 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 minus h. Now you can substitute it. H tends to 0, 5. Correct? Right limit, what will you get? Limit x tends to 1 plus f of x. So limit x tends to 1 plus 2x plus 3. Correct? Limit h tends to 0, 2 into 1 plus h plus 3. So solving this, limit h tends to 0, 5 plus h. So h tends to 0 is 5. So what is f of 1? 2 into 1 plus 3. That is also 5. So left limit is equal to right limit is equal to function value. Hence it is continuous. Correct? Clear, guys? Right? So we have discussed a very simple concept. I'll do one more problem and then we'll wind up. So next class I will solve. You guys don't try anything. Okay, you concentrate on the previous two chapters. Revise the concepts of this chapter and come. I will solve as many problems as possible because these are all very important. Okay. I'll tell you when to solve. So examine whether the function f given by f of x is equal to x square is continuous at x is equal to 0. F of x is equal to x square at x is equal to 0. Okay. So first let me see, for simple problems what I suggest is try to draw the graphs for them also, because these graphs will help you in chapter called as integrals. The 7th chapter, the 8th chapter, it will help you a lot. So f of x is equal to x square is what? It's an upward parabola. X is equal to 0. Does it belong to the domain?
Yes, sir.
So I take the left limit. Limit, correct? Limit x tends to 0,
0 plus
0 minus
f of x is equal to limit x tends to 0 minus x square. So limit h tends to 0, 0 minus h the whole square. How much is it? Is it not h square? Now substitute the limit, answer will be 0. Similarly, what do you get for the right limit?
Limit x tends to x to
0
0
plus
plus
f of x is equal to limit x tends to 0 plus x square. Limit h tends to 0,
0 plus
0,
h square.
which is nothing but limit h tends to 0, h square, that is equal to 0. Okay. So I suggest you guys to do in this way. In the exam, you can do using that limit x tends to c f of x is equal to f of c. Okay, what is the function value here? F of 0 is 0 square, which is a 0. So left limit is equal to right limit is equal to function value. Also, the graph says it is continuous. I don't have any breaking point. So this is the graph of y is equal to x. Right? Clear enough?
So
Yes,
here
sir.
we can say x is a
Yes,
real
sir.
value, right? As per the definition, we saw x is a real value.
So 0 is a part of the domain, no?
So I have a doubt, sir. Like, when will it not be a part, sir? What value of x would make it not be a part?
In this case, it's a real valued function. See, generally what will happen is you will not check the continuity of a function for a point which is outside the domain. A thumb rule. The tan x I showed it because I wanted you to understand how a discontinuous function looks like.
Okay, sir.
Generally, you will. There is no point in doing it because why? You know why you're doing all these continuity things. What is the name of this chapter? Continuity and differentiability. No, you know what is differentiation, right? Everybody knows what are the basics of differentiation. Last year you would have learned, right? If a question comes like this, what kind of functions can be differentiated? It is only continuous functions that can be differentiated. That is the reason why we call it as differentiability. We didn't say it as differentiation. Differentiation is an operation. Differentiability means the ability of that function to get differentiated. So which functions will have the ability to get differentiated? Only continuous.
Continuous one.
That is the reason why they have given it in the first place. And what is the thumb rule? You will never check the continuity of a function for a point outside the domain. Nowhere.
Okay, sir. I understood.
So this is outline guys. Okay. So don't practice anything from this chapter. I'm repeating it again. Go through the concepts before you come to the next class. So that if you have any confusion, I'll clear it in the first 5 minutes. Then we'll do some more problems. Okay. Do your tomorrow's test well. Don't copy. Okay. If you don't know the answer, just leave it. No harm in that. If you guys copy, I'll not understand what is your strength. In the last minute, you guys will struggle again. Don't do that. Even if you get a 0, I don't mind.
Okay, sir.
Okay. I'll
Thank
see you guys. Yeah. See you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.